This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so thank you for joining us again for our weekly updates from FrostburgFirst regarding COVID-19 and things that are going on for businesses, different funding opportunities. Just as a quick update, I won't go into all of this, but as of this morning, there were 2,331 confirmed cases in Maryland, and we have 2 reported cases in Allegheny County. There are a couple updates as far as funding available through the Department of Labor. They are still offering the unemployment insurance bulk claims for anyone who has had to lay off workers or give reduced hours. They can provide those names to unemployment and they will start the process there. Again, all licenses, registrations, permits, other authorizations are not going to expire until after the state of emergency is lifted. One thing that has changed as far as funding goes, the layoff aversion fund through the state is now no longer accepting applications. They reached their cap as far as funding goes. So that may, if they have additional funds in the future, that may reopen. At this time, that's no longer an option. So I'm going to kind of hop right into the main thing here. We've talked a little bit before about some of the Maryland programs available, and those are still there. You can still apply for a small business disaster loan, and they have changed some things with that so that you're able to get some of that loan forgiven if it's used for keeping employees on, things like that. In some cases for rent and utilities, some portion of the loan can be forgiven. So they're making some changes to that, but that still remains an option. The grant for relief funds through Maryland is still available. However, there is a cap on how much is available for that. And they have received just a tremendous number of applications. So if you're interested in applying for the $10,000 grant, the relief loan fund from Maryland, I really suggest pushing through with that in the next week at the latest, because I do think that's going to close down before too long. So the most recent funding opportunities that have become available are through the federal legislation that was just passed, which is known as the CARES Act. And the part of this that's going to most affect small businesses is the Paycheck Protection Program. And the applications for this are opening on April 3rd, so they start tomorrow. I will say that right now there's not a lot of guidance as far as what the application process is going to entail, what materials you need for the application. Most of the lenders who are involved with this have not yet received that information yet. So there's still some confusion there, but this program is essentially a loan program provided to small businesses to assist with payroll costs for your workers. This is also available to sole proprietors. So if you're owning your own business, your paycheck is protected under this as well. So if you meet SBA, and this is done through the Small Business Administration, however, the applications themselves and the loans will come from individual lenders and banks. So, if you've got if you have a business loan with M&T or something like that, they would be the ones to approach with this. You do not have to have an existing business loan to take advantage of this, but you may want to work with your bank that your business is associated with and see what their options are. Nonprofits also apply under this, anything under 500 employees. So basically you can apply through any existing SBA 7A lender. So this is the ones that already have a relationship with SBA. They're also relaxing a lot of the requirements for becoming an SBA 7 lender, so that you may see more, some smaller banks, credit unions, things like that will be able to do this as well. Other regulated lenders will also be available to make these loans once they are approved and enrolled in the program. So there may be people who are lenders who are available, starting tomorrow that you can go ahead and apply for. If you've got a different organization that's not part of that yet, they may yet have that opportunity. So the best thing that you can do as far as taking advantage of this program is to consult with your local lender, your local banks, to see whether or not they are participating in the program, or if they have an intent to apply for and get enrolled in the program. As I said, they can begin processing these applications as soon as tomorrow. But right now, I just spoke this morning with Shane Jones from M&T. He says that, they've been telling people who are interested in applying for this, to get their financial statements together. Basically, take a look at the requirements for the SBA disaster loans. That's the type of material you're going to need to have for this. These loans do not require collateral the way that the SBA ones do. So start gathering that information, and then you can reach out to your lenders and see if they know what they're going to need. As he said this morning, they hadn't actually received the guidelines from the federal program yet, so they're still waiting on that. But this basically establishes also a payroll tax credit that covers up to $10,000 per paid employee. And that goes from March 13th to the end of December of this year. And I want to show you a little bit more. Well, where to go? Sorry. So here's the page from SBA regarding the Paycheck Protection Program. So the idea here is to reduce the number of people who are having to use unemployment, because that's becoming a huge issue right now. And to keep yourself on the payroll if you're, a sole proprietor or owner, things like that. So these loans, if you apply for them and receive them, can be forgiven in entirety if you are kept on the payroll for 8 weeks and the money is used for payroll, rent, mortgage interest, or utilities. So basically, payroll or anything that you need to keep your doors, well, not open in this case, but to be able to keep your space or your location. And this is available through June 30th. And again, this is another one of those programs that there is, a cap on the spending for it. So it's definitely something that if you're interested in, you want to be one of the early appliers so that you can get that process going. They are doing, part of the reason that they're doing this through, local lenders and individual lenders is because there's going to be a faster turnaround with getting the loan approved and then actually being able to draw on those funds when necessary. But again, these loans can be 100% forgiven if it's used for those specific categories there. And so this is absolutely anybody who's in this room would be eligible for this. And again, you can look at this starting at tomorrow. And there's a little bit more information on here as far as what the interest rate, things like that. Interest rate of 0.5%. The loan goes on for 2 years. There are different at least 75% of the forgiven amount must be used for payroll as opposed to utilities, things like that. Loan payments will be deferred for 6 months. So there's, a lot of little sort of nuances and codicils, and it's something that you definitely want to talk to your lender about to find out exactly what process they're going to use there. So if you take a look at the how to apply, again, there's nowhere you can apply directly online right now. So the best thing to do is to call your bank or your lender and find out what their process is going to be, if they're offering this, if they're participating. And you can also contact the SBDC. They will have a list of participating groups as well. So that's kind of a brief overview of the Paycheck Protection Program. Again, I personally cannot recommend any particular financial plan for anyone. I don't have the knowledge for that or the experience or the qualifications, but definitely looking at loans that can be forgiven, the grants that are going to be available that you won't have to pay back. These are definitely things to take a look at and take advantage of as possible. So again, moving forward, the Maryland Small Business Emergency Relief Loan Fund is still available. But again, if you take a look, that was $75 million. They have already received thousands of applications for this. So that number is going to be dwindling. Same thing for the emergency relief grant fund, that number is dwindling. So if you haven't had the opportunity to apply for those and you're interested, now is really the time to kind of make that decision. And then there's the emergency relief manufacturing fund, but as Mindy was just telling me before, that's really for larger organizations that are going to be able to have sterile working environments and things like that. But it's still something to take a look at from a manufacturing standpoint. So before you apply, we talked about this last week too, but this is just a reminder, reach out to all of your creditors, all of your lenders, see if there are deferred payments available, if they have any way to increase your credit lines, things like that. Are there fees that can be waived? Can you make interest-only payments, for a period of 3 months, something like that? Talk to your landlord if you rent your space, or talk to your mortgage company, see if you can defer payments. Can you get reduced rent? These are things that you can take care of immediately, rather than having to wait on, finding out if you're going to get a grant or the loans approved. So those are actions that you can take right away. Look at your insurance policy, although apparently in some cases, just having business interruption insurance, you have to look at the fine print on that. And that's something I'll be researching as well after hearing that. Look into if there are going to be any federal programs mandating that insurance companies need to provide some of that business interruption insurance. But as of now, there's nothing for that. Take a look. Here we're saying, take a look at your fixed costs for the next 6 months. And what we're hearing primarily from the state and from our national agency as well, with Main Street America, is they are saying put together a 3-month business plan, take a look at your finances for the next 3 months, figure out sort of what you can put off, if there is anything that you can reduce your costs on for the next 3 months. That's 3 months is really going to be sort of the period that we have to look at here for potential for being closed. So those are some things to think about there and to go forward. As I was talking about a little bit before I got started here, I've been on a lot of calls and in meetings with various state agencies and briefings from our national organization and talking to other Main Street organizations as well. And what we are hearing is that businesses really need to think of this in terms of a 3-month period. So it is highly unlikely that state of emergency and a lot of these restrictions are going to be lifted before June. It's very likely that we will go well into June, possibly late June, before these things are lifted. And that is sort of the most optimistic projection that we have. So if everybody follows social distancing and the numbers peak when they expect them to, and things along those lines, that's most likely what we're going to be looking at. Again, this cannot be, this is not a blanket statement of this is what's going to happen. This is just based on projections. But it would be wise to plan for, not being open until potentially July. And I would have a contingency plan on that as well that would last you through August, just in case things, don't go as well as projected. This is scary and it's unfortunate, and it's certainly nothing that anybody was really prepared for. But the best way to sort of make sure that we're getting through this time period and being able to reopen when the time comes is to really think about that. Think of it as, I have 3 months where I'm not going to be able to open my doors. What are some of the other things that I can do right now that will help to mitigate some of that? So a few suggestions that we've put out before, just to keep in mind. If you are able to stay open, if you're considered an essential business, make sure that you're publishing your commitment to public health and outline all the actions that you're taking. That's something that people are looking at constantly. The digital gift cards, I really recommend, if you don't already have digital gift cards available, if you're somebody who uses Square for your credit card purchases, check with them, because they offer e-gift cards and things like that that can be used. Check with your point of sale. and see if you can do that. If you don't have a way of starting that yourself, again, I shared a recommended site here, GiftUp, and they are offering through the end of June. They're not going to collect their a fee, so it's fee-free for up to $5,000 worth of gift cards sold, or through June 30th, whichever sort of hit first. It's very, very simple to put this together. I went through the process. You can also sell certain items. You can sell inventory through this, but you can sell gift cards. We really recommend that you do that. If you put the gift card together, what it does is it provides a distinct URL that you can share on your social media, on your website, that you can send to us and we can share. And that's something that people are responding to. Gift card sales are up all throughout the country, mostly because that's about the only way that a lot of people can support their local businesses. So consider doing that. The link will be provided. I've had it in my previous emails going out to everyone. I'll provide that again in this afternoon's briefing. But giftup.app is definitely a quick, easy, fee-free way to go if you don't have anything set up, and you do not have to have a website to make this work either. You just need the URL. If you don't have a Facebook page, that's okay too. You send us the URL, we'll get the information out there. But this is a way that you can build that out and have some kind of income happening right now. So that's one of the options there. Sorry. Here's a little bit more information on the CARES Act. This will be included in this afternoon's email as well. But as you see, the loans carry maximum interest rate of 4%. They're going to be, for the most part, forgivable, depending on what you're using. So that's definitely an option to consider. And again, I really do recommend that you take a look at creating gift cards. I think that's a very easy way to get the information out there right now. If you take a look on our website as well, we're trying to provide updated lists and information about what's going on downtown. And you can see we have updates from us. A lot of this is the information that's going out in our daily emails, but this is sort of a central link that you can go to, and this is just on our main webpage. You can find this. And that has the links to different resources, different loan applications, things like that. And then we also have our Support Local Safely page. And here is where we're trying to keep an updated list of what everybody's doing, sort of who's operating, how you can reach out. We are posting links to everybody's websites or Facebook page, whatever's appropriate. But our list is not complete here because we're having to base this on what we're finding on social media and who's actually reaching out and letting us know what they're up to. So, if you take a look at this and you don't see yourself on here, please let us know. Please update us. As you can imagine, there's a lot of information that we're sifting through most of the time, and we're trying to get as much out there as we can. But we're a limited staff as well, and so that there is some challenge there. So the more you can provide us with information, the better. One of the things that we really recommend too is, as we're saying, this is probably going to be a 3-month period that we're looking at. This is going to go on, and there's a very strong likelihood that there's going to be a bit of a culture shift at the end of this. People will have been home for several months. They will be used to seeing things from their favorite businesses online or on social media. And so business models, really should probably try to shift in that direction a little bit, if at all possible. So the digital gift cards are a great way to start. If you do not have a website at this point, now is a really good time to look into doing that. But one of the best things that you can do is really think about how do you package some of your inventory or your services in a way that people can consume now. So as I was talking about with Barry and Patty earlier, putting together here's how to teach your kid how to draw kit and packaging that, you put a price on it, and then do a little video on social media where you're showing what goes into the package and talk about some of the crafts or the activities that they could do. And then you're putting that out there and providing a link to your PayPal account or however you're accepting online payments, and allowing people to prepay, look at doing, excuse me, delivery services. We've seen Main Street Books is doing delivery. That's fantastic. So the more things that you can do to kind of shift your business model, but right now in a way that's consumable from home, we really do encourage you to do that. Excuse me. Keep your customers updated on new experiences, products you offer when conditions improve. Another thing that we're seeing work for a lot of businesses in other Main Street districts are people, business owners are doing short videos where they're showing them, taking a walk with their dog, or their whatever home project they're working on. If you're willing to do something like that, that's really positive, because one of the things that people love about small businesses and that they love about the Frostburg community is, you walk into a store and the owner and you're getting to talk to them. It's not a faceless experience or sort of, big box store experience. And so there are ways to continue that feeling and that experience for consumers at home through the use of social media. People are on social media constantly right now. Those numbers have risen tremendously during this stay-at-home period, and that's expected to increase. So finding ways to reach out to people through social media, through your websites, is going to be a really important way of sort of keeping your business in the forefront of people's minds. And the more that they're identifying with you as not just a small business owner, but as their friend, as their neighbor, the more likely they are to purchase products from you, or to look and see, well, how can I support this business? And if you're able to, work with other small businesses and see, if there's somebody who offers, a complimentary product, can you do some sort of package together, or do, a Facebook Live event or something like that can go out. So we really do encourage you to look for new and innovative ways to reach your consumers, and we'll be providing suggestions on those as we go forward as well. Finally, again, we are here to help. We're doing everything we can to give you up-to-date information from the various state agencies and federal legislations coming down. Again, please do check and see if we've got you listed on our website, and let us know if you're not there and if you have any information that you would like us to share. We've also had to the Facebook event that we had for the Support Frostburg during COVID-19 expired, and they wouldn't let us continue it. So we had to create a new one. So please go and make sure that your information is being posted there. Again, that's in the links that I provide every day, and it's also on our website. Email us with any questions, concerns that you have. Call the office and leave a message, and I'm checking our messages every day and getting back to people. Let us know if you're having to reduce your hours, changing services. If you've got an idea that you want to see if it would work out, let me know, and I can reach out to some other Main Street organizations and see if they're having any success with that in their regions. And we're happy to assist with any loan applications, grant applications, anything we can there, as we do have other partners we can reach out to for information. Final thing, as sort of announcements from our end, as you know, Arts Walk has been postponed. We were hoping for a June date. We will have to wait and see what circumstances are at that point. We may have to push that back towards July or even in the early fall. So it will very much depend on sort of where we are in the next month or two. We are also postponing our pop-up shop program until the fall, because it's not really feasible to start up a pop-up right now, and that information is going to be going out in press release tomorrow afternoon. Also, we are now available, we've just found out from the DHCD that it's very likely that we will be able to convert our current grant funds to relief efforts. So this means originally this year we had planned on we had the pop-up shop program, and we'll keep the funding set for that, so that program continue in the fall. But we had also set aside funds for a project involving the signage down at the intersection there where McDonald's is, to update that signage and also provide new map stations downtown. Obviously, that's less of a priority right now. So I'm hoping that within the week we will get approval for converting those funds to mini grants that we can provide to our businesses and Frostburg and our members as well, to create websites. If you don't have a website and you need to get somebody to design one or put one together for you, that would be covered under that. Social media marketing, really anything that we can do to help you shift your business model towards online sales is what's going to be part of that. So there'll be more announcements as that goes next week. I'm putting the application materials together now and just kind of waiting on approval from the state. But the board, the FrostburgFirst board, has voted to allow us to convert those funds. So that's something that hopefully we'll be able to put into place next week. And I'm also working with Paul Maxey, who does our website design and is a professional web designer. And he is putting together some packages that we can present to our businesses for, if you don't have the means to do online sales right now, he can help you set up a Shopify page so that you can integrate that with your website, or how you're going to do sales through social media, things like that, and also basic website design at reduced prices. So we're working on putting that together, and I'll get that information out as soon as possible. If there are other issues that you're having or things that you would like us to try to find out or to address, please let me know. Basically, we're here to try to help you navigate this crisis and to be able to reopen as soon as the restrictions are lifted. So we want to be here to help you do that. So please let us know if anything else comes up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording at this point, and then we'll open up for questions. So thank you for attending today.